The bulk of people with diabetes, when we talk about it, have type 2 diabetes, which is also known as adult onset or non-insulin dependent diabetes. And that is what I'm talking about. That's 1 in 4 people struggle with this in this country or are bound for it. And as I said, the good news is that it is curable. Now, what is the cause of diabetes? Well, many people, when they hear that, they think, well, that's elevated blood sugar. And in fact, that's what many physicians believe, and they believe that most of the cause and the damage is related to the elevated blood sugar. But I'm telling you that it's simply not the case. The blood sugar is an artifact. It's a side effect of a more foundational physiological processes undergoing that most physicians are absolutely clueless of, because if they understood it, they wouldn't make the very serious mistake, and I'm calling it beyond serious mistake, of prescribing insulin for a type 2 diabetic, which I believe at some point in the future will be medically negligent practice and will be grounds for reprimanding a physician's license. Because putting a type 2 diabetic on insulin will clearly lower their blood sugar, but it will create the foundational cause of the disease to make it worse, because the problem with diabetes is that it's insulin resistance, and that every one of your cells has insulin receptors on it. And as you become less and less efficient at processing insulin, those receptors become more resistant, so you need more and more insulin to get the same effect. And it's an absolute mistake to put a type 2 diabetic on insulin, because it's going to just make the problem worse and accelerate the underlying cause of the disease. So, and it's not only insulin, it's leptin, but for the most part they can be viewed similarly. So it's leptin actually may even have a more powerful role, but insulin and leptin resistance are really the cause. So how do we address this? Well, fortunately we address this with our diet. And you know, this is not rocket science. All we have to do is look and see what are most Americans eating. The number one source of calories in this country is high fructose corn syrup. And that was an innovation that occurred in the mid-70s that we were, and here's the key, it's not so much the fructose and the sugar itself, because high fructose corn syrup is not really a lot worse than regular table sugar. Yes, it's marginally worse, but they're pretty similar. The reason why fructose corn syrup is so dangerous is that it's so inexpensive, and because of that, it's in virtually all processed foods. It's dirt cheap, and it makes food taste better. So manufacturers liberally throw this in there to increase their sales, and that's where the danger is. That's why it's the number one cause of source of calories. Fortunately, there are some simple solutions you can do. So most of the sugar is loaded in soda, and there's just really no reason you should be having soda. Soda, whether it's regular sugar or diet soda, which is probably even worse and will increase obesity even worse than regular soda, needs to be avoided. You need to substitute plain, pure water. That's the number one most important step you can take to prevent and treat diabetes, is making sure you swap out the soda for the water. And the same thing was for fruit juice. You really want to have water as your simple beverage.